Right, back for another episode on Geezer's Grief, and today we're joined by our guest Kane. How you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, thanks
Good.
for
Thank you for coming on, mate.
Yeah.
No worries.
Obviously, you've come on to share your story on grief after the tragic loss of your brother. Do you sort of want to talk about the events of how it sort of happened? Now we're sort of like here talking about it.
Yeah, so my brother went out to watch England play. I can't remember who they were playing. But,
I think we were saying it was
USA.
I don't know why it just always stands out for us. It was a USA game, wasn't it?
Yeah, USA. He went to Fan Zone, which is obviously our friends do.
Yeah.
And then led up to Viva in Richmond. And then obviously things must have went on that night. Come out and obviously got really badly murdered, really. Just no words for that, you know?
Yeah, mate. Obviously, we heard about it, and like a lot of people, it was like massive around the local area and that, wasn't it? But to lose a brother in itself is obviously awful and devastating. But to lose your brother to them circumstances is like, mate, it's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Sudden.
Like, yeah,
It's the last thing you expect. Like, you don't expect your brother to go out and then come back. Like, it's just not normal.
It's not that.
no,
Yeah, but it's this is what I'm doing this today. I just feel that people need to see the real person for Reece was. It was a gentle, lovely, shine through man, you know?
yeah,
He was the life of the party, lit up the dark room when he entered it. You know, people that just met him on a one-off always loved him. You know, he had 4,000 odd people walk for his, where it was, and we all walked together as a unit sort of thing. He's just a phenomenal person,
yeah.
a phenomenal brother at that as well.
Yeah. Well, we was like, when we spoke before on that, mate, I think I said to you, like, I didn't know Reece that well on that, but obviously from, again, like being like quite local and all that, like bump into him, and I saw him actually, funny enough, at the boxing gym and all that. Yeah. And like, you could just tell he was like a special person, do you know what I mean? He was always like lovely fella. I see him out a few times and you can tell he was like life and soul of the party and that. But yeah, mate, it literally, there's no words to sort of put into to explain. Like, it just don't make sense, does it? At 31 years old, like, it's mental, isn't it?
His life's just beginning. He's just had his baby, and he's obviously got a daughter. And obviously after it all happened, there's another daughter that he didn't know about.
Yeah.
You know, it's just mad.
Yeah, it makes it even more cruel. Yeah.
It just makes it mad.
And I remember you saying, like, obviously, like, your dad obviously has the boxing gym, and you're like, you and your brother and your cousins are like very heavily invested into boxing, and a lot of your message with the boxing and that was to try and get people away from that sort of life and stuff, to sort of have your brother Reece taken like that.
Yeah,
it's like mad, isn't it?
Happened on our own doorstep, and that's all we've tried to. We've gone out of our way to stop that happening to people going down the wrong road.
Yeah,
you know, and it's just happened on our own doorstep. But this is where it is. You know, there's no turning back from this. So you just got to try and deal with the grief as it comes.
Yeah,
every day.
Yeah, and like I say, trying to like carry on his legacy. And like, which you're gonna do, and you're gonna make him proud. Do you know what I mean? Doing stuff like this, and I'm sure you got like loads of stuff you got lined up in the future. Even just like his kids and stuff. Obviously, you're gonna sort of make them know how good of a dad.
You ain't gonna let him be forgotten.
There's so much to show as well in terms of the walk and the funeral, everything to just highlight what sort of person Reece was, which was just a gentle, no nastiness in him. You know, he would never judge anyone by a book, by the cover of the book. He'd always get to know you. You know, he was a one of a kind person. Yeah, and you know, just got taken away way too soon. Yeah.
How did you react, like hearing the news and stuff? So, like when you heard it, what did you think? And
when I heard, originally they was saying that he was glassed. So I obviously, when you hear that, you don't think as bad as it was. Yeah. Obviously you don't. But then the hospital where he was taken was like a specialist for stabbings, and obviously that itself is just shown a lot more than what I was thinking originally about it. You know, when we obviously was down the hospital, we didn't know if he was going to make it or not. If he did make it, it was going to be a possible chance of being brain damaged, and obviously Reece was a proud man who you'd have to take about 30 pictures of him.
Yes.
So I don't think you know.
No, he wouldn't
as
want to.
bad as he sounds harsh, but that's the thought in his head would be, I don't want to survive this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, that's what you've got battles up in your head about this. You know what I mean? Because we want him to be there, but you have to look at what he would want.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't want that.
No.
It's mad to even think that you're like hearing them words, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like hearing them words coming from the doctor saying he might not pull through, or if he does, there's a chance he's going to be brain damaged and that. And like to think like 24 hours earlier, like
Everything was normal.
absolutely like perfect, isn't it? Like
Perfect.
I had a weird feeling when we found out Dad weren't going to survive, and I sort of was like, nah, we're in a dream here. Like, he's like my hero, he's like Superman. He's going to just wake up and be like, nah, I'm all right. And like when you think, oh, actually, it ain't going to happen, you're like, oh.
Your brain don't know how to
process
that at all.
No.
And it's so sudden, you know.
Yeah. Oh mate, I was literally just going to say the same thing. Like, and all of a sudden, it just like feels like that. It's like you're in a different, complete world.
You've been living in that sort of bubble, and then the bubble just bursts, and you're just put on the floor.
I guess that's
you're on your knees, like.
Yeah.
And then I guess like what ifs happened, don't they? Like what if he never went out and stuff like that, and
a lot of people, including myself, have said that. Why weren't I there? You know, but you can't
live like that.
The only person to blame is the person that done it.
Yeah.
That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
go on.
Otherwise, you're literally just gonna. Yeah, it's not it's understandable that you are gonna ask questions and stuff like that, but whatever you come, you're never gonna get the right answer to that. Oh yeah, what if I've done this? What if I've done that?
You're just punishing yourself.
Yeah, you're just gonna hate yourself for not being there and stuff like that. And you can't live like that. You can't live like that.
Yeah.
What was the days leading up like after that? What happened after that? Obviously there was the march and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. So the march happened, I think, roughly 3 weeks after. No, sorry, well, about a week after, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, and because obviously that was a complete blur. That time of my life was a blur. I don't know what day it was. I was completely away.
Of course,
it completely took me over. But yeah, the walk was obviously a really hard day to do, but we knew we needed to do it just so we knew we weren't alone.
Yeah.
You know, because Reece was known by so many.
I remember seeing it on Instagram, the amount of people, I was like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Like, there's thousands,
4,000 something people, road closures in place to make sure that we could all walk through. And, you know, I think that walk took, you know, people kept paying their respects and putting their flowers down, and football, boxing gloves, you know, everything. And, you know, it's just, that took hours and hours of the day to do, you know. And all these people come out to do that for him.
Yeah.
Did you struggle during the walk? Did you like find it emotional?
A few times, I would say. Yeah, I was walking and I felt okay, and then bang, click of a finger, I felt like, you know, really bad heartache, and then I look behind me and I just see the massive amount of people.
Yeah.
The massive amount of people, and I just said to myself, do you know what? We're not alone here. You know what I mean? I said that to myself, and then. Like weird enough, my dad pulled me to the side and I was struggling, and he said, "Guys, come on, just look behind you. Look, this is how many people loved your brother."
It shows how many people it affected as well.
Yeah,
like,
it affected a lot of people.
It's something to be proud of, though, looking back and seeing all them people there, and even though you wouldn't want it in them circumstances, it's like, like looking back on that, it must like make you proud, mate. To be fair. It's something to be proud of for the rest of your life, isn't it?
To get that amount of people to do that, it just shows like how much.
People were telling me you wouldn't even get this for a celebrity. This amount of people.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
You know what I mean?
Just goes to show how much of like an impact your brother had on people, and that. And I think a lot of people, because like I think a lot of people sort of look at it and go like, well, that could have been anyone. really. Do you know what I mean? It could have like anything. You could go out and it could happen to anyone. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's not relatable, but people could go like put themselves in that situation and go like, well, that could have been us, or that could have been. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just never know.
Anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, this is a cruel world we live in because it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What was so after the march, was it quite a while until the funeral, or?
Yeah, I think it was at least about a month till we could have his funeral because they wouldn't release his body because they were still doing their checks and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, the funeral was a long while after. But again, the funeral was again a massive thing.
Yeah.
You know, the funeral in Hamworth, the crematorium, they closed the crematorium for the day and only allowed Reece's funeral to happen. Gave us 2 hours instead of the standard, I think 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was screens outside the crematorium, you know, outside the church sort of thing.
Oh, that's unreal to be fair.
To watch it from outside. It was just another day that's sort of like a blur to me.
Yeah.
Some of it still shines through in my head.
Yeah.
I can remember
little bits
of it. Yeah. To the fact of people like, you know, because we've got a big family, he's got loads of mates, you know what I mean? So it was like a reunion with people that you didn't really think you'd have to reunite with due to that situation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just another hard day to go through, but it needed to be done. You know?
I remember you saying that you actually got up and spoke as well.
Yeah, so I got up and spoke, which I'm not that type of person to do. I normally wouldn't do that. And I feel that was a little bit of my brother on me there, just giving me that courage to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did it. Because I think I set the bar for the likes of my dad to speak, you know, after me. Because my dad's a solid man, but this has broke him and put him to the ground.
Yeah.
So is it my mum, you know, my mum and a lot of other people for that. But,
I remember like at my dad's funeral, like you say, because it's like it's a hectic day, that, and it's like it's a mad day, like the funeral and stuff. And it does, like, even myself, I got up and spoke, but like literally I can't remember a thing about it. To be honest with you, it's just like
you remember little bits, didn't you? And it's just a
little
blur.
snippets and all that. Yeah, like the funeral, it's like especially yourself, you had to wait a month and that. It's not until after that it's like another thing where you feel like you need to get through it, don't you? To be able to, like, obviously it's not going to work like that, but I know from my experience, like when my dad's funeral, you sort of like wanted to get through that to sort of like think, right, we need to try and as a family get going again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like start
a kickstart again.
Yeah. Even like it don't work like that, but like it's one of them days you think like, oh, that's going to be a hard day, that is, and it's going to bring it all back up and that. But yeah, you sort of need to get it done and to be able to move
I think
on again.
with the funeral as well, like that's the last period people are going to be sort of remembering that person, because after that they're going to go back to their normal day lives. And I think when you're going through grief, you're sort of like resentful to that because you sort of want people not to forget him.
Yeah.
But you want...
I agree.
And it's a hard day as well because you feel like that's like your final goodbye. Even though it's not, is it? It's like another, it is like another day because you're always going to remember him and stuff like that. But you feel like that's like the final goodbye, isn't it? Sort of thing. So you wanna make it special and that. But yeah, it's tough, that, mate.
Did you have loads of people coming up to you and like, or did you like sort of just want to be left alone, or?
Oh, I had a fair few people come up to me. Yeah, but I was willing to accept that. You know? So I did find some strength that day. Yeah, definitely. Because, you know, I've if you look at before it, during that whole time, I don't even know what was going on. It was terrible. I couldn't go. I couldn't get out of bed. The day-to-day life things were just a complete nightmare for me to even think about. Yeah, you know what I mean, I didn't. All I could think about was my brother. How it's just been taken like he has. Yeah, you know, it's just it's something I can never accept. Yeah, to a certain extent, I have to. I'm forced to accept it. Yeah, but something I'm refuse to accept. Yeah, you know?
yeah.
So days after the funeral, was you just like bedbound, like not wanting to get up, or
But it's understandable, mate. Like anyone in your shoes would be the exact same, mate. To be fair, I was pretty similar after my dad, mate. And my dad, like weren't in the circumstances that Reece was taken. Do you know what I mean? So like even myself, like my dad died of cancer, and you still have questions in your head, let alone like what happened with Reece and that. You must have been like going round and round.
Yeah, so many things you wanted to say.
Yeah,
You know, it's because it was so bad. By the time we got, you know, that day, by the time we got to the hospital, it was, you know, you couldn't even say anything because they wouldn't allow you in there. So do you know what I mean? You weren't even allowed in.
Yeah.
So we never said goodbye to him.
Yeah.
Like, skin to skin.
Yeah.
Sort of,
Yeah. But mate, that's fucking shit, isn't it? To be fair,
in itself, because
I remember, obviously you got a little boy now.
Yeah.
And I remember obviously we spoke about it before, where you were saying like you'd probably be in a very different position if your boy weren't here. Which like obviously, mate. Oh, no one could ever blame you.
It's like a distraction, isn't it, from it? Like,
if it weren't for the likes of my son and my missus, I'd be in a lot worse of a place.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sort of remind you got to sort of look after him now.
There's something, you know. There's Vinny's my flesh and blood. And Reece adored him. You know, Reece did adore him, and I'm gutted for life that he's not got the uncle that he would have loved, my boy. You know, because he was, you know, he would have been the best uncle to him. You know, as well as a best dad to his daughters.
But like you say, they're gonna know that as well. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna know Uncle Reece, or like the girls are gonna know that Dad Reece would have been unbelievable.
You know, our family. That's why we put all of that in place. The march and the walk-in and the big funeral. You know, it's unfortunately something you don't ever want to show his kids or my kid. But it's at one stage they're going to get to a certain age, and you're going to have to tell them what happened to them.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, this time last year, you would have never thought you'd be in a position like you are today. Like when you've had your kids and stuff like that, you think you're going to go to their wedding and stuff like that, and that's been taken away. So
it was like,
it's crazy how time.
For me personally, it was really hard because Vinny was born, and then a week later, my mum's mum, my nan, passed away from a hemorrhage, and then 3 months after that, Reece passed away from the way he was taken.
So it's all come at you.
For me, I might be struggling, but I think my mum, amongst everyone, is struggling the most. You know, her mum was her best friend. Just like I'd consider Reece was mine. You know. So she's lost two best friends because Reece was really good to my mum.
Yeah.
And my mum was really good to him.
Yeah, that's a baby at the end of the day as well, isn't it? But same to you, mate. He was like your best mate, your brother. He was going to be the uncle to your boy. Do you know what I mean? It's terrible.
I have to praise my brother's best friend, Dobbo. You know, I've known Dobbo since I was Jamie Dobson, his real name. Yeah. But I've known him since I was 3 or 4. So obviously same with Reece. My mum was friends with his mum, and we grew up together. Yeah. And now he's been absolutely impeccable with the way he's been.
That's unreal.
See people's true colours when stuff like this happen. I think
he's been impeccable. You know, he's the GoFundMe was raised by him. You know that that's a massive sum of money, and that was only raised to that sum because Reece was who he was.
Yeah, definitely.
I believe.
Yeah. 100%, mate. Yeah. And so he's like been there supporting you and your mum and dad.
So, he's running me every day. You know, and
that's quality, isn't it?
He's not going through it himself. Even though he might not be family blood. They don't need to be. Yeah. He's been there like family. Yeah. You know, he's been there for my mum massively.
Yeah, that's unreal, isn't it? To be fair, and you never forget something like that, do you? Like say, like when something like that happens, like I think people show their true colours and like step up and stuff like that. So it's something to like remember and that really. And like I say, he's probably looking
going through it as well, but I guess he's sort of taking comfort looking after you because that's what Reece would have wanted, I guess. And
so when he started the GoFundMe page, like what was the final figure that it actually hit?
127,000 something.
Yeah, and that was happened quite quick, didn't it?
Yeah, within I think 3 days or 4 days, it reached over 100,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mate, it's unreal, isn't it? I remember looking on it like a couple of days, like a day or so after, and I was like, bloody hell, that's like, I think it was at something like 70,000 or something like that. Then look, the next day it was like over 100 grand. Yeah, it's mad, mate. But like I say, it's just all credit to who Reece was as a person. Do you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
say, I don't think that happens to anyone, but to like Reece,
because
it just shows.
It just shows that
Yeah,
people go that extra mile. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because of the way he was with them, I suppose.
And like you say, like you said, there was like some big donations. Like one was like 10,000 and stuff like
£10,000.
that.
Yeah. Thank you to whoever that was. 'Cause I still don't know, but
Really, yeah. It just goes to show you, mate. And like people got like there's some good people out there and stuff in there. To be fair,
but, you know, I'd give as much money as I could over to get Reece back.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, no amount of money is gonna.
Nothing's gonna match that.
No.
I'm over losing him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like you say, no amount of money is gonna ever bring him back and that. But it's just something I made. Like you say, you can tell your boy and your two little nieces when they grow up and go like, look how much money that they raised for your dad.
Yeah, that's
you know
how much your daddy was loved.
Yeah,
You know
how
what I
much
mean?
he was
How
like.
much your uncle was loved.
Yeah. How's your mum and dad? I mean, I know it's a bit of a shit question because obviously I know the answer. They're going to be in a bad way, but how are they dealing with it?
Yeah, I suppose they're very similar to the grief's very similar to mine, but I think because it's their son, I think it's somewhat different.
Yeah,
and I think that my mum, she finds it. I think they're finding it the same sort of, you know, they're struggling the same.
Yeah,
but they're showing it in different ways.
Yeah,
like my dad will, you know, he will be the one that's really good with words and he'll know what to say, and my mum's just a bit, you know, like she's don't know what to say.
Yeah,
you know, because she still cannot process that her first son ain't here. Do you know what I mean? Because of one very, very, very bad person.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I can only imagine what they're going through, mate, to be fair, and like yourself and that. But I suppose, are you like even closer now, like to your mum and your dad?
Yeah. It was always a tight family.
Yeah,
anyway.
I know you was, because like you quite like you and Reece had a similar, well, from what I saw, a similar like brotherhood to like me and Mace. You know what I mean? Like even though we drive each other up.
Yeah, that's
like,
what me and Reece was like.
And like at times you could like fucking have murders, but like you know you'd always be there for each other, like deep down, like your best mates. And that, innit? Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing with Reece. That's the way he was with me. He was the older brother, and he could see I wasn't that very confident kid.
Yeah,
and I think he just pushed my buttons that much more to get that person that he knew I could be.
It's similar to us. I'll say
harsh love, the love that was just harsh.
Yeah,
sounds like terrible, but that was the way it was.
Yeah, and I bet at the time you don't actually see it like that, do you? Because I know, like, the same again. We're probably pretty similar, innit? You're like, out of the two, I'm probably the more louder one, the more gobby one.
Yeah.
Whereas like you're like
the shy,
a bit more reserved, and that.
Yeah,
And
exactly
like
the
same
same.
again. Like, I'll push his buttons and that, but you don't. I'd imagine at the time you didn't actually look at it like
Reflect
that. Do
a
you? You
bit
think,
like that,
you've been a wanker.
Yeah.
But it's not like until now you reflect on it. And you go
reason. There was a
definitely.
pathway he was trying to get me to go down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, to build me build me more of a confident man.
It's like having that reassurance that you're doing a good job as well. Like if you're doing good, he'll say you're doing good. If you're doing shit,
the first one to congratulate, and the first one to wind you up.
Yeah.
He was, you know, that type of brother that with every given chance he got to have a go at me or basically embarrass me, did.
Yeah,
I laugh about it because that's the way it was. You know what I mean? One time we was going to York Hall to watch the boxing, and I remember I couldn't get all my cousins were there, everyone was there. I went through behind Reece and my card weren't working, my travel card weren't working. And he's going, "Come on, Tangy Tomato, what are you doing?" And I'm going more red. I'm going, "Shut
just
up.
let me through.
Yeah, and he's going, "Look, you know what I mean?" I'm just like, only you can get away with that. You know what I mean?
It's nice to have like memories like that though, to look back on, isn't it? Yeah. I imagine you have like a lot of memories with the boxing and stuff as well.
Yeah, a lot of memories in terms of boxing. Yeah, so like him being the star of the gym because he was just naturally talented at that sport naturally, and I remember he put on loads of weight. He come down after at least 3 to 6 months off, probably boozing in between. And he's come down to the gym and he's overweight. It's the first time he's ever been a little bit heavier than me. So my dad's gone, "Oh, you and Kane spar." So he jumped in, I smirked at him. I thought, oh, this time I'm going to get the better of you. And then he just jabbed my head off, to be honest. He went in his little Mayweather style and just jabbed my head off.
He was the
He was
alpha.
overweight at the time. I was like, you little bastard.
How did you like since it's happened? Have you had like your up and down days and stuff like that? What have you found has like helped you?
What's helped me would be as probably the stuff that you find is the hardest to do, which would probably be speaking about him on social media or sharing something, but that actually helps me a lot.
Yeah,
share it on social media.
I think that's a good thing with social media, because as a person like me, I'm not very like, if someone said you're right, I'd be like, yeah, I'm right. Like I wouldn't be able to spill how I'm feeling.
Exactly,
whereas on social media, you can put it out and people will be like, oh, he's
well,
actually.
you can like
really
empty your head, can't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can empty it like and just like get it all out there
Yeah.
and sort of say how you're feeling on it. And yeah, if that helps, it's perfect, isn't it? It's definitely a good thing to get it out.
Yeah.
Like we've spoken before, and it's always good to like talk about it or try and like just find the ways that help you clear out your head.
There's always everyone that's suffering from any type of grief, there's always something that will pull you through it.
Yeah.
You just need to find it.
Yeah,
You need to find a focus and stick to it.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to anyone like other than social media? Have you spoken to anyone like in person about it or anything like that? Or
I'd say like my close mates. I
Yeah.
don't mind opening up to my close friends, and I'm a lot more opened up than I used to be.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, as I said, this has hurt me more than anything, so I won't shy away from saying how I feel anymore. Because it's, you know what I mean? It's nothing's gonna. It's apart from my son or my missus. There's nothing. Or, you know what I mean? Nothing gonna come close to losing a brother. And funny enough, I see something on social media yesterday about siblings are the most important because they're the ones that are with you from start to end.
Yeah.
And I just thought, why has that come up? Because that ain't the truth now for me, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
I
You can
don't
look
wanna
at stuff
pull
like
the
that.
sad card, but that's the way it is.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
no, you're not pulling the sad card at all, mate. Yeah, definitely. It's yeah, mate. It's always like, especially after like Reece and that, like you do naturally. I think when it did happen, I naturally like you sort of same again. Put yourself in your shoes and you go like, well, because like we go out, you never know. Like one day you never know. Like recently we've been having murders, haven't we? Like again. But like it's the same again. It's you hear like talking to you and stuff like that, you think like it's fucking stupid, really, because you never know. I know you're always gonna bicker and have arguments.
Which
and
means
that,
you're
but
close.
Yeah,
To be honest.
yeah,
Which means you're close.
it's good, but you just I think like at times we just like fucking because you never know what's around the corner. Do you?
Nah.
You just got to bite the bullet
Yeah,
sometimes.
tomorrow's never
And
promised.
Exactly, and like
See what you got. That's the way I am now. That's the way I think now.
I know,
Tomorrow's
and
not
it's
promised.
like you hear it, and like even myself, it's a bit cliche, but it's so true.
Yeah,
You
you really
so
need to
true.
embrace that word. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
it ain't promised.
No. I remember you saying about obviously your boy and Reece. He's saying about him like, do you want to make him world champion?
We was having got a beer around my mum's house, and he was with Vinny. He was like, he goes, he's proper lively, isn't he? I said, yeah, he's like you then, isn't he? Because Reece was lively as anything, and he was like, he just started laughing, like this cackle laugh he had, Reece, and yeah, he said, if he wants to box, should we try and get him? Should we get him down the gym? We'll try and make him a world champion. I said, yeah, all day long. And he was like, yeah, he's lively. He's gonna like it. He's lively. And then I was like, yeah, we'll give it a go when we go. Like when he starts growing up, we'll give it a go. And then he was like, yeah, we'll make him world champion. And I just obviously now he's not here. Obviously, as I said before, I wouldn't want to force anything on my son.
No,
my dad never did that for us. And neither did my mum, obviously. But, you know, if it's one of them things where he's around it and he likes it and he comes to me and goes, I want to start doing this.
Yeah.
And obviously he's got a lot of people to help him in terms of my family.
Yeah.
You know, my granddad being ex-boxing promoter. You know, he's been everywhere in the boxing world. My dad been everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm now
He's got all the
coming through
resources
it.
there to sort of like push him on and that, and like
make it your mission.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
when
that's
we're
it.
watching
And
telly on the future and we see your
It'll be
boy
a
out there.
dream to make that happen now. Obviously,
Yeah.
considering if Finney does want to do it, because I'll tell him if it ever did happen, You know, in the future, I could say it's because your uncle that you're sitting in.
You can look back at this and say, look, I told you.
Yeah.
Mate, what a moment that would be and all that, innit, to be fair. Like,
That's what you got to look at.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
stops the misery and stops.
Yeah, you got something to sort of.
It gives you some
you've
focus.
Got to look at a focus.
Oh,
forward
definitely,
to.
mate, yeah, and a goal going forward. Yeah, and what a goal to have and all, innit? Like, to be fair, that'd be like something. It sounds like a Rocky movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that'd be unbelievable. To be
man.
fair. But he was like an unreal boxer, wasn't he, Reece? I know we touched on it a little bit, but like he was unbelievable, wasn't he?
Really good, really good boxer, and he was just his hand speed was ridiculous. I'm not sure, you know, if we see videos of it, you just beyond belief. You're like, how are you throwing shots that fast? You know what I mean? But it was natural. But it's funny because originally when he was young, he didn't like to admit this. So he'd probably have a go at me now somehow. But he took up gymnastics
For
like 2 or 3 weeks. That's all he done it for. But there was other kids been there for years, older than my brother. And my brother won a silver medal in a competition after 2 weeks of being a gymnast.
Really, yeah. So just
And
like
then
naturally-
there was about 30 odd kids that were doing that. You know what I mean? And where that was straight away, that rang the alarm bell that he was natural, talented person.
just anything he put his hand to.
And I think my mum said to him, well, why are you not going gymnastics anymore? I don't want to wear a leotard. I refuse to wear a leotard. And that was it. Job done.
Just get the boxing gloves on.
Get the boxing gloves on.
I think I said to you before, like, I come down to Westside, like, I come and met Shane. I've never done any boxing, but I wanted to get into it a little bit more on that. And Reece was there. I remember, like, because going into somewhere like that, it can be quite intimidating and that. But like, your cousin and Reece were like unreal. Genuine nice blokes, you know what I mean? Like, and it could be like one of them places where you walk in and everyone's like, who's this little twat who thinks he's like going to come in here and like box, you know what I mean? But I remember watching your cousin and Reece. Your cousin was on the pads and Reece was boxing, and like, mate, some of the stuff they was doing, I was like literally in, like, wow, like watching it, do you know what I mean?
Combinations.
Yeah. There's me like struggling to throw a jab, and then you've got these like throwing like 10-punch combo, and I'm like, okay, all right, boys.
Calm down.
I like you called yourself a little twat as well.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say I'm a big twat.
What would your advice be for anyone? Obviously, your grief's quite like fresh, isn't it? It's only not even a year yet. No. So, what would your advice be to someone who's just suffering with grief?
Suffering with any type of grief is to just find that fire in you to get up and get out, because you know, life, the world keeps turning. You know what I mean? The world will keep turning no matter who is here and who's not here.
That's the thing. What you said, like, you got like a little task now. It might be well in the future, but you got something to...
Something I consider later on.
Like you say, you got to set little goals, I think.
Yeah. And I think, like, as well, like, knowing Reece, how you're saying and that, he wouldn't want you being, do you know what I mean, in bed.
That's another thing.
Like, crying your life away, do you know what I mean? He would want you to go out there and, like, say, make an impact on the world and like keep his legacy. Yeah. Not make his legacy, but just be happy with life, innit? Yeah. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
So you can't, as I say, the world will keep turning. So the only thing you've got power over doing is just getting up and getting something going. Getting the ball rolling somehow. You know, as hard as it is, and it is really hard.
Oh mate, really there's definitely still going to be days where you don't want to get up, and there probably will be days. Like, there's still days now, like we said before, like, I think it's been just over 5 years with Dad, and there's still days now, like, if I'm being honest, where you go like, I don't fancy it today, even though I might not show it as much, because I think as time goes on, I think you learn to deal with it and maybe hide it away. Yeah. So like, whereas like early on, it's where it's like fresh and how you ain't as well, like, you don't do it as well hiding it. Do you know what I mean? But as you learn what works for you, and you go like, but mate, there's definitely days where you go like, I could do without today, to be honest with you. I think
the biggest thing is as well, like, because it's been 5 years, I'm thinking, where the fuck's that time gone? Because I'm like...
You probably think that. I know it's not even been a year yet, but I bet it feels...
It doesn't feel nowhere near that.
No, it probably feels like last week, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the same as me. Like,
raw still.
And we hit an anniversary and stuff like that, and it's sort of like...
And I hate it, to be fair. Because the way I look at it, I don't know if anyone else thinks it, like, but... When like a year goes by, 2 years go by, like, don't get me wrong, like, but I always think that's like 5 years I ain't seen my old man for now, or I ain't spoken to him, or like, spoken to him about football.
But you have to tell yourself that.
Yeah.
You just don't feel believable to yourself.
Nah, that's what gets me the most. Is like when I think like I haven't seen my old man for
It's not something that should be happen. It should have happened. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So it's a grief that you can't seem to accept.
Yeah.
So that's why it keeps coming back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it means that you love them.
Yeah.
That's what I've learnt now, is that the reason why I'm hurt so much is because I loved him so much.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I was going to say, with like your job, obviously, as a boxing coach and stuff like that, people who are doing boxing are quite like stern. They don't really open up, and
that's the persona.
Yeah, hopefully with you doing this as well, people will be like, actually, I can speak up and because like everyone tries to be the alpha, like it's boxing, isn't it? Like you don't want to show, but hopefully with this, you can be like open up, talk about how you're feeling. If you're having a shit day,
there's no shame in that.
There's that typical persona, like you got to be hard, stern face, like show no weakness sort of thing. And even though it's not, but you know what I mean, it's got that persona to it.
Just reflect on boxers in the history. You know, look at Mike Tyson. He was one of the really dangerous boxers. Wanted to kill you in the ring. But then when now he's that older, you can see his real feelings and emotions. He gets tearful.
Oh mate,
you know
listening to some of his stuff.
In that. You're just a human being.
Yeah.
And I think you ain't got to be suffering with grief or anything like that. Like even if you've got depression because you ain't achieved something in your life, or you got anxiety because you're worrying about something, don't just bottle it up, because it's just gonna repercussions down the line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, talking about it is only gonna help. And it don't matter even if it's something small, but it's not small to you. Do you know what I mean? For you to get on with your life and that, you got to talk about it at the end of the day.
Yeah, you shout it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I think when you've suffered like how we have, you're sort of a bit more with your friends. You're like, oh, you're all right. Like you sort of been through it, so you know if they're having a shit time, you're going to be there for them because you know how you feel.
Yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, you too, like your father. You know, as much as I love the fact everyone's there for me and messaging me, I'm here for you. The people that are actually there for you are the people that have half gone through it.
Yeah.
You've gone through it.
Someone said it to me.
They understand what you're feeling.
Yeah, you're part of a club. Like, you're part of a club you don't want to be part of, but you can share that feeling of losing.
Yeah. You can put you can lean on someone's shoulder, you know, because just because you're a man don't mean you're not hurting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely. You hurt more than anything.
What was it like? Because obviously with your job, you're obviously a boxing coach sort of thing. What was it like going back to that? Because obviously that was a big part of you and Reece, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I did think for the first sort of month I weren't doing it. I thought I ain't gonna be able to do this again. Yeah. That's generally what I thought. And then a couple more months went past, and I thought, do you know what? I've just got. I think what it was a few of my brother's friends. They always used to speak to my brother about doing boxing and doing a white collar fight, and I don't think they ever wanted to do it initially. And then when what happened to Reece happened, three of them signed up for white collar, and then obviously I trained them throughout, you know, to get them ready for their white collars, and I think that might have somewhat helped me. So I'm thinking Reece would have loved them boxing. Yeah. So I want to help them out. You know what I mean?
You can sort of take comfort in it, can't you?
Yeah, like obviously Joe Gantley, another guy, Reece's really good friend, obviously one of my friends. He was training with me. He had a white collar fight as well in Reece's name, and obviously he raised money for that fund. Yeah, put a bit more in there. Yeah. And he said if it weren't for your brother, I wouldn't be sitting here now doing this. I wouldn't be boxing. Really? You know, I kept telling your brother I wanted to do it, and then I just kept pulling away from it. And then when he passed away, he just goes, "I'm doing it for him now." Do you know what I mean? I just want to box in his name, you know. Yeah. And it's a big name to live up to in terms of boxing, Reece.
Yeah, definitely. I remember you saying because there's obviously pictures of Reece in the gyms and stuff like that.
Yeah. Obviously, there's pictures on the wall. When he went and met Joe Kawasaki in Wales, and fights of his amateur fights and that. For photos of that, and obviously it's hard for me to go in there and see it. Yeah.
I was going to say that. Is it hard?
Daily reminders,
isn't it? It's definitely hard. But in the same breath, I feel that he's there. He's watching, and he's looking. Yeah, and he's looking after not only them but me as well.
like looking down, like watching sort of thing. Yeah. No, it's nice.
Let's go for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's the sort of? Have you got any plans in the pipeline to do anything else, like boxing wise, like charity wise, and that?
I'm gonna consider maybe doing a white collar event next year.
Yeah. I might get involved. To be fair.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I might. Honestly, I might get involved.
You'll love it. You'll love it, mate.
If you need a coach on the man,
you can be my SNC.
Yeah, SNC coach.
I'll still get smashed, but no, but yeah, if you do something like that, honestly,
I'm
I'll get involved
considering it.
Yeah,
definitely considering it, and obviously it'll be everything. We need to try and find a charity that's nearest to what's happened to my brother.
Yeah,
like a charity for the families, because obviously when he passed away, you get help, but it's not the help you think you'd get.
Yeah,
they still shy away a little bit from you. The liaison officers and that.
Yeah, so
it's like you are left alone a little bit.
Yeah,
to deal with it yourself. I feel that with what's it called? I can't remember what I was going to say now.
That's right.
Sorry,
what I was going to say actually is like, did you like they obviously give like you give you the contacts to sort of like talk to someone? Or something like
that's
that?
it. They give you that information.
Yeah. What was that like? Or was it not really that great? Or
you can normally get a phone call every week just to see how you are.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. From victim support or whatever.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I refused help from the day one, which was bad. I shouldn't, but it's just the way I am.
It's the way you deal with it, mate.
I feel like I can get through it just by speaking to my close friends and my family.
Yeah.
I feel that that's enough support for me.
Yeah.
But, obviously, doing this will help massively.
Yeah.
For me, not only myself, but paint a bigger picture of who Reece was.
Yeah.
And he was a lovely, lovely, kind man.
Yeah.
He was a comical, funny man.
Literally, we said this as well. Like everyone who I know knew what happened, knew Reece and that. Literally, not one. I know that it's a bit cliche, but it's literally not everyone who knew Reece who I've spoken to about have said like what like a quality bloke he was. Like, just like
we put a post up on Geezer's Grief Instagram when you was coming on, the amount of like people we had on like this quality, like and it was like, oh bloody hell, this is going to be a big one.
Yeah, because it is. It is generally going to be.
I knew it would be. Because like I knew Reece was like well liked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew he knew everyone and that. But yeah, mate, we're like proper proud to have you on and talking about it. To be fair, like it's like I said, I think I said to you last time, like I thought I didn't know whether it was like a bit fresh and stuff like that. But yeah, so we appreciate you coming on.
I'll always try and find the strength to do things like this.
Yeah,
this is
like I say, it's
not
nice
just
to talk
us
about
suffering. This is the bigger picture of what you're doing.
Yeah,
which obviously you've got to be appreciated for. You're trying to help other people that don't feel like talking to talk.
Yeah,
do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the grief that they are going through.
Yeah,
and that's a really special thing to have. Is to have people. You're trying to help people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also trying to get their story across of who they would lost.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Such a big part of like life now, isn't it? Like mental health and stuff like that. So if we can help anyone, it's sort of just
talk. That's all I can say to anyone. Anyone that
even if it's over a beer or something like that, like.
Yeah.
Just say how you're feeling. Like your mate might come back with some bollocks, but it's just getting it off your chest.
Your head.
But what you like the thing is, I think a lot of the time you think you might not. I think talking from past experience and that, like you think sometimes like you saying something, people are going to think like, "What are you going on about and that, mate?" But half the time, people are struggling with the same things anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, not grief wise, but like mental health wise and stuff like that. Like
just day to day.
Yeah.
Life.
It's like them things that you think are a big deal. A lot of other people are gonna think they're a bit, and nothing's small. If it's like a big deal to you, and the best way to fix it is by talking about it. You got to do it at the end of the day. It's
just speak up.
Yeah.
I see you got your tattoo done as well.
Yeah,
it's always on.
Done by a person called Oliver Rare.
Yeah, something real to be fair.
So that was originally a picture of him leaning over a boxing ring, watching the people sparring.
That's quality.
Go around that side, mate. And then go around that side. And then
just do a little model shoot, mate.
There, like that.
That's it.
Mate,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's unreal, mate. It's so good.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna get one for my dad after seeing yours the other week. It's it made me want to get one for my dad now.
So he's with me everywhere now. You know what I mean? That's what you got to think about.
Yeah,
It's with you everywhere, whether he's on your skin or not.
Yeah.
Be with you.
yeah, it's nice, mate. So yeah, I remember seeing on like social media and that funny enough at the fan zone that Reece went to that night, a couple of weeks forward, that Reece James come along, because obviously Reece was like a big Arsenal. I can't say Arsenal. Big Chelsea fan, wasn't he? So,
yeah, massive. Yeah.
So I saw that Reece James obviously come along, and
so-
didn't he start the clap or something?
Yeah, I think, as far as I'm aware, I'll always respect him and his family forever because of because of the man he is. He's a big calibre of a footballer.
Oh mate, he's unreal.
And he's come
Chelsea captain, isn't he?
Out of his own way to come basically to someone who was brought up on a council house. Do you know what I mean? That's basically what me and Reece were. And he's come to the fan zone to start the clap on the 31st minute of the game.
That's special, to be fair, mate.
And I think he was originally from Richmond or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And he must have got wind of this somehow.
Yeah.
But then obviously I went to Stamford Bridge shortly after he turned up for fan zone, and we were sitting on a table, and I was with Dobbo and my two cousins Jordan and Colby, and this was still fairly raw then.
Yeah.
And I remember Dobbo was like, "Oh, this is that's Reece James's dad." And I was like, I didn't know what to do. Obviously, I don't want to impose on his dinner and stuff. And then Dobbo ended up speaking to him. And he said, "Oh yeah, your son, we talked about Reece James." And then he was like, sort of looked over at me, and he pointed us to come over to him, and he's given me a cuddle and said, "I'm so sorry." And I said to him, "Listen, like, your son is, for what he's done, I will forever respect that. He doesn't have to do that."
That's the thing, innit? I was just gonna say he does, even though that's unreal, he doesn't have to do it, does he? It's like
so that's just genuine. Again, a family who are just a genuine family.
Yeah.
But we do live amongst people that are not nice people, unfortunately.
But
in
at
this
the
world.
same time, we live amongst people.
I think the people that are good shine through the bad.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah. Well, a way to put it, to be fair. Like what you just finished with there, like the good shine through the bad. That's
100%.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh, mate. To be fair, like I say again, I'm really thankful that you come on, mate, and shared your story. I hope we done you proud and that, mate.
Glad to come on.
Yeah, you definitely doing stuff like this. I think it helps. I think it
helps everyone.
I think Reece would be proud, like, you coming on, mate, and like your old man, your mum, all your mates and that, be proud of you coming on and talking about it. So
I appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much.
Sweet.
Nice one, mate.